Okay, sixth grade. We are going to do one quick lesson today. This shouldn't take too long. So this should be probably the shortest video you've seen, but we're going to work with ratios. Ratio just means a fraction, okay? So we're going to start with fractions, but what we're asking to do today is to find equivalent fractions. Now we did this toward the beginning of the year where you found something, do they equal each other? If you were to put them in simplest form, would they equal each other? So if I'm looking at 1/3 as my fraction here, to create an equivalent fraction, because I'm not checking them, I'm creating them. So if I have 1/3, to create an equivalent fraction, I want to multiply the top by the same thing that I multiply the bottom. So if I choose 2, I can multiply both the top and the bottom by 2. Multiply it across. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. I just created an equivalent fraction to 1/3. I can do the same thing. I can multiply the top by 100 and I get 100. If I multiply the bottom by 100, I get 300. I just created another equivalent fraction, okay? So one way to double check these is if I have 4/12, okay? If I'm given something like that and I'm asked to find equivalent fractions, my first step is going to be, can I simplify this? If I can simplify this, let's do that. I know that both of these can be divided by 4. So I simplify it by making the simplest form of the fraction. That will give me an equivalent fraction to this one, if this is what I started with. So I just found the simplest form, that's one equivalent fraction. Now I can take that and I can multiply it by anything. Let's say I multiply top by 5. That would be 5. If I multiply the bottom by 5, I'd have to multiply both top and bottom by the same thing. If I multiply the bottom by 5, I get 15, and I just created more equivalent fractions. So I'll do the first one with you. Your assignment today is just going to be this one worksheet, okay? There's 12 problems. For each of these 12, you're coming up with 2 equivalent fractions. So if we do the first one together, it is 5/7. My first step is going to be, is it in simplest form? If it's in simplest form, awesome, we're already done with the first step. Now, sorry, I can't talk. Now I just need to multiply top and bottom by the same thing. So I'm going to choose, let's choose 3. Because you can choose any number as long as I multiply the top and the bottom by the same thing. 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 3 is 21. There's one equivalent fraction. Let's start with the same one, and we can do something fun. Let's say we multiply by 1,000, okay? Multiply the top by 1,000. That means the bottom has to be multiplied by 1,000 also, and I get 5,000 over 7,000, and I just created another equivalent fraction. So that's all we're doing today. You're gonna go ahead and work on the front of this. I'm only attaching this one worksheet. So this one worksheet, you're going 1 through, I lied, I said 1 through 12, it's 1 through 16. Okay, we just did number 1 together, so you can use these or you can come up with your own equivalent fractions. And then once you're done, go ahead and submit that. Okay, thanks.